Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. I'd like to begin by also thanking our dear friend Jamal Nur Sargat and all the beautiful friends of Turkad and the Chalabi family and the International Rumi Foundation and all the speakers and friends who've gathered here to bring us all into the presence of Hazrati Shems, Hazrati Mevlana. It's so beautiful to be held within their huzur here in Konya. We begin in the name of God, the infinitely compassionate and infinitely merciful, and we ask his help. As it says in the beginning of the Maqalat, this talk was gathered from the words of the beloved Mevlana Şems'in Tebrizi, the Sultan of those who have attained. May God not deprive us of his abundant blessings. We're deeply grateful for this opportunity that we've had to spend in the time of companionship with Hazrati Shems during the journey of preparing the book Rumi's Son, The Teachings of Şems-i Tabriz, selections from his Maqalat, and the generosity of Dr. Refik Algan, whose inspiration it was to begin a translation of the Maqalat into English. One of the gifts of that journey has been to feel Shams's constant encouragement of those to whom he speaks to become people of paradise, here, now. So in this moment, we wish to share with you some of that encouragement. We're living in the midst of very challenging times, and Mevlana and Shems also lived in the midst of very challenging times. And yet, what a possibility opened with the example of being that they unveiled. They invite us into the garden of seeing God's beauty and abundance everywhere, in the midst of everything, seeing the unity and encouraging souls to be people of paradise, now, here. In the Maqalat, the conversations of Şems-i Tabriz, Shems tells us, people say that there is no path or that the path is very long. Yes, the way is long, but once one sets out to walk with great exuberance and joy, the distance of the way disappears. Just as it was said, paradise is surrounded by thorns, by things we dislike. All around the garden of paradise are thorns, but when the fragrance of paradise reaches the nose of the lover, bringing news of the beloved to the lover, then that place of thorns becomes very pleasant. The thorns that surround hell always seem to be roses and basil, but the unpleasant odor of fire comes to us from them. If I were to try to explain about the beauty of this path, it wouldn't be appropriate. In this world, the opposites play out their dance of light and dark, of difficulty and ease. And in the midst of it, we have the work of being rightful caretakers, Khalifa, of the divine. Here, acting as servants, Abdullah, to establish the mizan, the balance and good measure in this world. Shams encourages us to open the heart to its true capacity. He says the heart is greater, more expansive, more pleasant and more illumined than the heavens. Why would one narrow it with useless words? How could it be appropriate to constrict a very pleasant universe into a tight prison? What is the purpose of turning a universe like a fruitful garden into a tight prison, wasting time with delusions and ugly imaginings throwing oneself into a dark universe and sleeping in ignorance all the time, wrapped up in a cocoon like a silkworm. We are of the people who turn the prison into a fruitful garden. If our prison turns into a fruitful garden, imagine what our fruitful garden might become. Just watch and see. None of the gracious words of the prophet have surprised me. Only one hadith has bewildered me, he said. The world is the prison of the believer. I don't see the world as a prison. Where's the prison? I'm asking. But that blessed one said, the prison of the believers. He didn't say the prison of the servants. The servants are a different community. One doesn't have to fit one's own meaning into that narrow thought. Whatever comes from the friend, quickly say, it's just like that, and keep going. As Şems says, strive to do the good. They tell a story about Ali, may God be pleased with him. He had said, we were in the Baqi cemetery offering the funeral salat. The Prophet came to us and said, there's no man or woman for whom God has not written whether he or she will go to paradise or hell. One of those there asked, I wonder, can we change this destiny? He said, endeavor, do good deeds. Each human being facilitates the work for which he or she is created. People created for paradise make easier the deeds of the people of paradise. And those who were created for hell make easier the work of the people of hell. After this, the Prophet recited the following verses from Surah Layl. And so, as for one who gives to others and is conscious of God and believes in the truth of the ultimate good, for him we shall make easy the path towards ultimate ease. To clarify, Şems says, let me tell you about the qualities of the people of paradise, and let me also tell you the signs of the people of hell. Since the day God created the universe, like an arrow shot from a bow, every day, every moment, he has been opening and closing doors. This takes place at such a limitless speed that one's mind stops. Whomever you see who has a beautiful temperament and a beautiful face, if his or her words are straightforward, if he or she is open-hearted, and he prays for good things for everyone, a joy of heart comes from the speech of such a person. He or she makes you forget the anxieties and tightness of this universe. Your inside opens in such a way that even if he or she swears at you, you laugh. Maybe when they speak of unity, you weep. But in that moment, you feel 100,000 joys and laughter within you. Such a person is a being of paradise. There are also those who bring a coldness and anxiety to you, and these are those of hell. Now, whoever has realized such a secret behaves accordingly. In this endeavor, Şems encourages us to bring our helplessness, our incapacity, our need to our sustainer. For need is the foremost wing feather of the way. He says, if you pass beyond the body and reach the soul, you'll have reached createdness. The truth is the ancient eternal being. Where can the one who is created find the one who is eternal?